Corral again. This time I'm going to be speaking about English, and I'm going to be speaking about an aspect of the language that I think is very interesting, but can also be, I don't want to use the word difficult. I've said that 1,000 times and I use the word, am I correct? I want to use the word complex, but I think very necessary. And I'm talking about language, I'm talking about any language, but here I'm going to be talking about English as an example. But just as an example, that it's very important that words, that when you're studying a language, even your own language, that you understand that words can be understood in so many different ways. You can understand a word literally, that is what it literally means. You can understand a word when it's used idiomatically, that is, it doesn't have the meaning that you would normally associate with the word, especially when it's used with other words, but together those words have a meaning that is particular. Let me give you an example. When you say clear, the word clear basically means transparent. It's something that you can see through. But if I say clear out of here, or it's clear to me, now it's clear to me is much closer to what it originally means, which means it's transparent. But if I say clear out of here, I'm not talking about becoming transparent. To clear out of a place means to get out of a place as quickly as possible. Then you can understand a word metaphorically, what it means culturally or historically. For example, and a good example of this would be colors. Colors can be understood for what they really are. For example, the color black. Right? The color black in American culture, just like in any culture, and if I were to show this and I said this is black, everybody would understand what I meant. Even if I were using English, they would say, oh, in English you say the word black. But now if I'm talking about black metaphorically, now that's the difference. There's a great difference. It used to be in the United States to talk about something black metaphorically would always be something negative, right? Always, always, always negative, right? So many people of my race, of my shade, of my color, would hesitate in calling themselves black. They would call themselves colored. They would call themselves Negro, which is negro, and negro in Espanol is black. But they wouldn't call themselves black because black would mean something ugly, bad. Your soul is black, the black sheep of the family. But in the 50s, well, I would say 60s, because it became much more popular in the 60s, the idea of black is beautiful, not just being in the black community, African American community, but spilling out into the mainstream, became part of mainstream United States. And now to call someone black is what you would call someone who looks like me, or someone of my ancestry, right? I noticed that, for example, in Latin America, they don't want to call you black because black has still that very negative connotation. So in Spanish, in many Spanish-speaking countries, you don't say negro, you say morena or moreno. You would say the person is brown because brown has a less negative connotation. But over here, if you call me brown, that's not insulting, but it's incorrect. I'm not brown. Someone from India would be brown. Someone from Latin America would be brown. But an African American is not brown. An African American is black. I don't care what actual color that person is. So that's looking at a language metaphorically, because if you go to another country, the word black could have a totally different meaning. Okay. What I did one time was I wanted to see, was there any area of life that you could look at literally as well as metaphorically. And I don't know how I hit on this idea, but I thought about the body. Of course, the body, the thing that you carry around with you, right? It's looked upon both ways, even idiomatically, right? So what I did was I essentially wrote a book on the body. I looked at the body literally. The easiest way to teach the body is to teach it literally by saying, for example, if you want to teach body parts, you just say, well, this is the head, these are eyebrows, this is hair, this is the nose, these are lips, teeth, right? Your neck, your back, your hair, right? That's the easiest way to teach and the body. And you can teach the body that way anyway. But then I said, well, how do we look upon the body metaphorically? That is, does the body have more than one meaning when you're speaking metaphorically? Well, of course it does. If I say you don't have a heart, I don't mean that you don't have actually a heart. It means that you have no feelings. You're very cold. Right? If I say, for example, I'm going to keep an eye on you, I'm not saying that I'm going to take my eye and put it on you. That means I'm going to watch you. If I say, for example, he is the head of the class, I'm not saying that you take off his head and put it in the class and there it is and he's the head of the class. I mean, he's the leader of the class. So the body is a very interesting structure or organism that could be used to teach English from many different perspectives. You can teach the English language literally, by literally teaching the vocabulary of the body. You can also show through teaching the body how English is a Germanic language. But much more importantly, or at least the reason I'm here today, you can also use the body to teach the metaphoric or the figurative aspect of the English language. Now I'm looking at the time and I don't have a lot, but let me just read. I have my apple here. So let me just read for you some of the things that I wrote about the body. Okay, so here we go. Do you know what the cheek symbolizes? I tell you not to give me any cheek. What am I saying? It means don't talk back. Did you know that the shoulder is both a noun and a verb? Did you also know that the figurative meaning of shoulder as a verb is to push, shove, bear, support, or assume responsibility, to shoulder the world? When the cat has your tongue, what does he have? He has your power to speak. If you shout out to me just before going out to do a performance, break a leg, are you wishing me harm? No. To shout break a leg means good luck, or knock them dead, but not really knock them dead. If you lose your heart, is it as bad as to lose your mind? No. To lose one's mind is not at all good. It only means to go crazy. To lose one's heart, however, can either be good or bad. It all depends on to whom you lose it. If it is to someone who does not feel the same way, it is bad and painful. However, if the other person feels the same, it is not only good, it's fantastic. To lose one's heart is to fall madly in love or to fall head over heels. Does to not have teeth have anything to do with not having the stomach for something? No. It has nothing to do with not having a heart, not having the heart, not having the gall. Let me just raise this a little bit. The nose, the eye, or the ear for. If something does not have teeth, it has no power or force. A law or regulation only has teeth if it has the power to make people obey. Now, obviously I can't read this all to you, but the body is very interesting metaphorically, what it means. Almost every single part of the body has meaning metaphorically. And you can also learn a lot about the English language and how close it is to the different Germanic, not Latin languages, but Germanic languages. If you're interested in learning more about the body metaphorically, there's several things you can do. But one thing that you can do, you can look me up. I'm at istudyguides.com and look for my different books on the body. Everything is free, so there's no problem as far as money is concerned. And you can see how the body is interpreted metaphorically. So once again, this is Coralla Ficklin-McLean at istudyguides.com. Today we were looking at metaphoric English, and we were looking at the body figuratively and metaphorically. Thank you very much. Have a good day.